On the 14th-15th of December 2017, the International Academic Conference Empowering Sustainability in a Fragile World was held in Moscow. The conference was organized by the International Scientific Consortium, which included the Center for Security and Development Studies of the School of World Politics of the Moscow State University, the University of California in Irvine, and the Institute of Oriental Studies of the Russian Academy of Sciences in partnership with the Russian International Affairs Council and with financial support from the Russian Science Foundation. This conference was envisaged as a part of a multi-year research project led by Andrei Kukoshin, academician and dean of the School of World Politics. Russia is getting more engaged in solving problems of the Middle East than in previous decades, and that is now becoming one of the major trends in Russian foreign policy. In the near future, Russia will obviously need to address the issues of conflict resolution and post-conflict reconstruction and cooperate with its international partners. To make this cooperation more effective, we should build new channels of communication with international experts.
The idea of empowering sustainability in general is to teach leaders of the next generation more about the real challenges that they are facing. To deal with fragile and failed states is an opportunity to bring coordinated work from many perspectives in the world.
This is an attempt to bring together in one venue both experts who deal with mostly theoretical issues of political science, sustainable development, and international development assistance, and area specialists, including some researchers and practitioners from the Middle East. This attempt to establish such a dialogue may enrich the vision of all participants. On the one hand, it may help experts on the Middle East get acquainted with new methods and conceptual paradigms. On the other hand, it may provide those who study theoretical issues with some new context and data. The conference brought together experts from 11 countries: Russia, the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, Belgium, Sweden, Lebanon, Palestine, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. Over 30 specialists performed as speakers or moderators at 7 sessions. On the first day, the experts discussed the linkages between global and regional factors in ensuring security, stability, and sustainability, new trends in the conceptualization of stateness and state fragility, and the transformation of transnational terrorism and other forms of politically motivated violence, as well as the linkages between the deficit of food, water, and energy resources, deepening inequality, and rising political instability. We're talking about the fragile world we live in. Unfortunately, we have been witnessing not only the perpetuation of old protracted conflicts, but also the emergence of new disputes driven by the sense of injustice, social inequality, economic hardships, and some regimes' inadequate policies. A particularly serious challenge has been a growing fragmentation of a circle of key stakeholders and an increasing willingness of both regional and global powers to pursue their own interests. In such a complicated environment, it is especially important to envisage possible ways to ensure stability and peace.
At least there are 1.5 billion people who live in circumstances that are in states where you have high levels of insecurity, civil war, and other issues. And that it's important in itself for the countries themselves.
I think the conference is a very important one because it's addressing a very important issue, which is the fragility of the world that we are living in. I think now that fragility is becoming an issue not only in the Middle East or Africa, but also in the first world countries.
What is good with this conference is different topic, the diversity of the topic. So yesterday we had a panel on climate change and its impact on security, and then we had a panel on the future of jihadism and terrorism that I intervene in. So these all topics, you know, they are very important because all the countries in all the world are concerned by these topics.
Experts from different fields, from academia, from research institutes, and I've heard a lot of interesting topics and opinions from different regions, and I'm especially impressed by the combination of mix of nationalities of the participants.
The second day of the conference was dedicated to searching for concrete, practical solutions to peace-building challenges in the Middle East. The experts discussed how to ensure security and the rule of law in the context of political transformation and how to foster sustainable and peaceful economic development in fragile settings. The connection between theory and practice was emphasized in the concluding remarks of an honorable guest speaker, the chair of the Federation Council Committee on Foreign Affairs, Konstantin Kosachev.
The region we are discussing, the Middle East and North Africa, is clearly in turmoil. Has been like that for the last few years, and the situation is not getting better, it's getting worse. And we need to find solutions desperately. That's an interest of the international community, of all states, because no one would benefit from a total breakdown of stability. This conference, by raising some of the relevant issues about conflict and reconstruction and sustainable development following it, is critically important to have now, and hopefully we can find some solutions.
I think we've discussed important things in terms of preventing the repetition of conflicts, and some very useful, helpful suggestions were made by the conference participants from different perspectives. And my hope is that these messages would be taken back to the government, the Russian government, so that then the Russian government will reflect on them.
In my mind, this conference brought together the best international experts who contemplate on these issues and advise their governments in the United States, in the United Kingdom, in Russia. In that sense, this has been a very important and candid exchange of professional opinions on political risks to security and development in the Middle East. Such a broad dialogue is very important now, given a general deterioration of relations between Russia and the West, not least because it allows to establish new channels and mechanisms that help experts exchange their thoughts and build trust, including at a state level.
That Russia and America can do things together that can't be done otherwise. It makes me an optimist, and why I so hope that by the end of tomorrow we will have a consensus to come back here in 2019 and do it again, and especially in this marvelous home you've provided for us.